Hey, welcome back to the Big Rand Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. I tell you, sometimes people in this country just totally piss me off. They prove to me how racist they are and how hateful they are. And it's really pathetic. Bad enough I have people sitting there saying trans people don't exist on my last video. Now I gotta bring you a video. I'm gonna bring you a video of a complete and utter racist piece of crap. Either that or maybe the woman was simply off of her meds. I will leave you a link in the description below to this woman and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have the rights to this video, so I can't show it, but I can give you the link to the Yahoo article that shows this woman's Twitter videos. But anyways, let's get to going with it, shall we? This was recorded by a hostess at a restaurant called the Tampico Mexican Restaurant in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The hostess name is Miranda Castillo. I want to give her all the props for making this video. I don't have, like I said, I don't have rights. I have no way. I haven't been able to contact her to see if I can get rights to show her video. But she's the one that recorded the video, so I want to give all props to her on recording this video. But this woman, white woman, who's sitting there, literally unprompted, the manager and the owners and the owner and managers of the restaurant, they're brother-in-laws that own the restaurant together. They're immigrants to this country here legally. They're U.S. citizens. And out of nowhere, according to the server here, this woman just randomly starts yelling at them because they're speaking Spanish. Did I mention the name of the restaurant? Did I mention the fact that it is a Mexican restaurant? Yeah, I think I did. She was yelling at the owners of a Mexican restaurant for speaking Spanish and having broken English. She goes on to say, get the F out of our country all because they were speaking Spanish. Now let me tell you something. If my wife and I were to say we moved to Mexico and we went to a restaurant and we were speaking English to each other, do you think the people would really be offended that we were speaking English to each other, since that was the native language that we speak? Well, she lost her mind. Went on a racist tirade about it, calling him a rapist and things like that, because apparently, according to this woman's story, she was raped by a person who didn't speak Spanish, or didn't speak English, and spoke Spanish at some point in her life. Now, I feel bad for the woman if that's what happened to her. I mean, it's terrible. Rape is a terrible thing and it should never happen. But you can't blame every single person that you see that looks like the person that raped you for your rape. It's not everybody's fault. And like somebody in one of the second video points out, as she's leaving, white men rape women too. It's not just Hispanic people. But to sit there and tell an American citizen that they have to leave the country because they don't speak perfect English? What would this redneck woman know about perfect English? The man was speaking English with a Spanish accent. Why? Because he's Hispanic. It wasn't the best English. Maybe it wasn't the Queen's English. But who cares? This is America, people. We have no set language that you have to speak. So quit trying to act like people have to speak English to appease you, to make you happy. Is that really how much of a snowflake you are? That you have to tell people to get the F out of our country? She goes on to say, I don't have a problem with the way you look, but you're an American. You need to speak English. What are you talking about, woman? The hell are you talking about? This is America, the great melting pot. This is the country where everybody comes together and joins them as one, whether or not they speak great English or not. This is America. We are free to speak the languages we choose. And just because someone chooses to speak another language with somebody else around them who happens to speak that language doesn't mean they deserve to be here for any less reason. These men are American citizens. I mean, would you tell one of my best friends who is a white guy but really fluent in Spanish, if he decided to speak to one of his Spanish friends in Spanish, would you tell him to get the F out too? Would you tell a white guy who was fluent in Spanish to quit speaking Spanish? Would you tell that to two white men? No, you wouldn't. This is pathetic. This is un-American. And I am glad that Miranda Castillo got it on video. I will leave the video in the description below. I'm not even sure what they're going to call this lady. I will figure out a name for her. But I am so sick and tired of people like this. This is goes in a long line of people. Some I've covered and some I haven't. From Barbecue Becky, Corner Store Caroline, and now, what are we going to call this lady? Leave me a comment down below what you think we should name this one, because this lady is special. And I'm not even going to say special ed, because I know people in special ed that aren't as dumb as this woman. Anyhow, this has been The Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road. By the way, next week I will start my series on the different presidential candidates running for the Democratic nomination for the 2020 presidential campaign, and I will be starting with one, Andrew Yang. Anyhow, like I said, this has been The Big Ranch Show, and I'll see you down the road.